Hey guys, Hekiba here. Recently I've been doing a lot of rated Battlegrounds on my rogue, and through my time in the RBG community, I've noticed that many rogues don't actually understand the concept of how to properly sapcap a base. This video is an attempt to remedy that issue and teach rogues who are interested how I sapcap a base and the methods that I use. So let's dive right in. Let's start first by talking about the sapcap method itself. There's three core steps to the sapcap method. The first of these steps is that you have to understand the Basesitter. Understand what class they are, the abilities that that class has, and how you as a rogue can play against that. The second step, and by far the most important of the three steps, is that your goal is to get that Basesitter to waste their trinket and any other CC breaking cooldowns that they might have. This ultimately leads to step 3, which is saving your blind or your vanish to secure the cap. Now that you understand the theory aspect of sapcapping a base, let's turn to some practical examples to see what I do exactly in this raid battleground to take a base. As you can see from the map, this is Arathi Basin. My side, which is Horde, controls farm and lumber mill, while the Alliance side controls stables and gold mine. Currently there's a main team fight in Blacksmith, where neither team has been able to cap Blacksmith. My goal in this clip is to capture gold mine. As you can see, as I peel out of the main team fight in Blacksmith and make my way over to Goldmine, I make sure to remain stealth the entire way. This is done on purpose to make sure that the enemy team doesn't know of my whereabouts and that the Basesitter at Goldmine is not prepared for a possible attack. As we can all see, is a Demon Hunter base sitting at Goldmine. Now, as we all know, Demon Hunters have an ability called Spectral Sight that allows them to detect stealth targets. So whatever I do, I have to make sure it is within the window that Spectral Sight is on cooldown. As we can see, the Demon Hunter is playing very smart and staying away from the flag, not allowing me to sap him and force a trinket out of him. It is at this point that I realize that I have to figure out how can I get him closer to the flag. The plan at this point is to smoke bomb on the flag and begin capping it. This will force the Demon Hunter to come closer to me. Ideally, what I would like next is to get a re-stealth off prior to the Demon Hunter hitting me. And because he's closer to the flag now, I can put a sap on him, forcing a trinket, which then I could follow up with a blind and then capture gold mine. Alright, let's put this plan into action. I noticed the Demon Hunter used his Spectral Sight, so I smoke bomb on the flag and start capping. This is going to bring him towards me. I try to re-stealth, but he actually ends up tagging me. However, I use my vanish to get away. He actually starts walking back towards the flag, so I'm getting ready to position a sap on him. I sap him and start capping the flag. This is going to force his trinket. There's his trinket. I blind him and cap gold mine. The SapCap method can also be applied to maps like Silver Shard Mines. In the following clip, you'll see that the lava cart is running along and that there's a warlock sitting in the cart. The plan at this point is all based off the warlock's positioning within the cart. If the warlock is positioned at the back rim of the cart, he leaves himself exposed for an easy sapcap, where I can sap him out of the circle and begin capping it. However, if the warlock is positioned at the front rim of the cart, it will make it extremely difficult to get a sapcap off due to the limited time I have until the cart caps. In that scenario, I would have to hope to beat him in a 1v1 quick enough that I could get the cap. So as I approach the cart, you can see that the warlock is staying at the front of the cart, which is smart, but he's moving around quite a bit, so I want to see if he's actually going to move towards the back of the cart. Which he actually does, so I'm getting ready for my sap. I sap him. You can see that he's slowly going to be pushed out of the circle now. I reapply a sap, and now he's out of the circle. I follow that up with a blind, and now I'm capping the cart. He CCs me inside the circle, so I'm still capping. The cart's been turned. He fears me into the circle, continuing the cap, and the minecart gets capped for my team. The last clip of Sapcapping that I'd like to show you guys does come from a random Battleground. However, I specifically chose this clip because it shows how to deal with a class that's base sitting who has a CC breaking ability. In this case, we're going up against a Fire Mage who has Ice Block. Like the previous two clips, I make sure to approach the base stealth to make sure that the enemy team is unaware of my location. At this point, I'm just waiting for the mage to get in a good position for me to get a sap off so I could force a trinket, and then proceed with a blind to either get the base or force the ice block as well. The mage got in a good position, so I sap him and start capping the flag, to which he has to trinket. There's a trinket, so I blind him and start capping. He actually gets a dot on me, so I cloak, but I also see backup coming, so I decide to vanish as well. He actually wasted his ice block as well. I guess he wasn't aware that backup was coming. You can see now that he doesn't have his ice block or his trinket. He's staying away from the flag. I did waste my vanish and my blind to get that. However, I still have my smoke bomb. So what I'm going to do is smoke bomb on the flag to bring him closer, get a re-stealth off before he hits me, and sap him, and then cap the flag. Alright, so here we go. I smoke bomb and start capping. He blinks towards me. I get a re-stealth off. I sap him outside the smoke bomb and cap the flag. The SapCap method itself is extremely useful and effective against the majority of classes in World of Warcraft. However, where it falls short is against classes that have a pet or minion. Having a pet or minion as a base sitter is extremely useful as it allows you to stop any possible SapCaps. The first thing a rogue should look for when approaching a base sitter who has a pet or minion is the placement of their pet. If the pet or minion is to the side of the base sitter, it makes it a little bit easier as you can actually utilize your smoke bomb to your advantage. However, if the pet or minion is on the flag, it makes it extremely difficult as it totally negates the purpose of your smoke bomb. It is of course possible to get a sap cap off on a class that has a minion or pet, however it just makes it more time consuming, to the point where that base sitter could probably get reinforcements in by the time you would set up your sap cap. A possible scenario that I could see working is that you would sap the hunter, get a full kidney shot off on the pet. This would probably require you taking mark for death though, and then start capping the flag immediately. This should force the hunter to pop his trinket, and then from that you would vanish and reset. Then you would open up by sapping the pet, blinding the hunter, and beginning to cap the flag. And to be safe, you could throw a smoke bomb down on the flag to ensure that you get the cap. Also, it's worth me stating that it's almost next to impossible to get a sap cap off on a class or spec that has 2 minions or 2 pets. This would require the absolute perfect conditions for a sap cap to be pulled off. It would require the base sitter to have their trinket on cooldown already, and for you to perfectly line up all your CC so you could get the cap off. Overall, sap capping on a base sitter who has a pet or minion, especially one that has 2, deserves its own video. If that's something you guys would be interested in seeing, please let me know in the comment section below. Hopefully this video was enough to showcase that sapcapping is a core component of rogue playstyle in rated Battlegrounds. However, I'm sure there is still a few of you who are undecisive whether or not you'd like to adopt the sapcap method into your rogue playstyle in rated Battlegrounds. So, for those of you who are still questioning, I've broken down a 3-point list of why you should start sapcapping as a rogue. Number 1, which is when sapcapping is done right, it is really fast. It is much faster to sapcap a base than it is to engage the target in combat and try to go for a kill on him before he has his reinforcements arrive to the base. Number 2, which due to how fast sapcapping is, it doesn't give the enemy team enough time to react and send reinforcements to the base that you just took. This allows your team to send reinforcements first and fully secure that base. And the last point, number 3, is that sapcapping can literally be the turning point of the game that allows your team to win. As taking a base or capping an extra minecart, these small things that a rogue can do can change the pace of a game and influence heavily who actually wins that game. Thank you everyone for watching. If you like this SapCap guide, feel free to express that through hitting the like button. As well, if you have any comments about the video or on rated Battlegrounds in general, you're more than welcome to post that in the comment section below. Also, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video and would like to show your support for future content. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'm looking forward to seeing more rogues sapcapping those bases.